Allah in the name of Him, the most beneficent, the most merciful. My name is Gabriel Morton or Ali Reza Jafarpur, and this is very, very important, special program, especially about the people who are in the hospital, about the people who are in the coma because of the accident, because of the oldness, because of the cancer, because of the many disease. A lot of factors will will make for a lot of people to be in the coma state. In the coma state, the consciousness field of the human being is outside of the body, and depend on the degree of the depth of the coma, people are unconscious. So I want to say that we have a lot of solutions and a lot of way to come back to make these people to come back to their life. And I can say a lot of several things. I hope this will be very, very useful for anybody who is about to lose his or her dear. I will do my best to save these people. I had at least 4,700 out of body experience. This out of body experience by me is very, very different from the out of body experience that a lot of scientists experience it in the laboratories with a lot of patient or anybody who was volunteer to do this experience of the outside of body. About myself, several years ago, I had very, very clear out of body experience. My consciousness field or my astral body was so much far from my body. I can truly say that my consciousness field was outside of, at least outside of solar system and more. I am sure that my astral body was outside of the Milky Way. I don't want to describe more, just want to say that anybody who is in coma, his or her consciousness field is outside of the body. And depend on the depth of the coma state, his or her astral body is so much far from the body. About the old people, just similar to save them from urination in the outside of the toilet, in the ceremonies, in the parties. Old people, mostly, especially men, they can't prevent or save their urination, and that is not volunteer. About the soul and about the astral projection by the people who are in the coma in the hospital is the same. Their brain is not able to remember the place of their body, so they lose their way to come back to their body because about the brain practices that is similar, very, very similar to the body exercises. The more you exercise at an old age, or do playing chess, or do mathematics practice, your brain will be stronger. And the brain for a human being is the last station to about saving the life. Before dying, all of the members for any human being, I want to say that the last member of the body at the time of death is brain. So that is so much important for anybody who is old to keep themselves potentially, and by exercise, by mental exercise and body exercise, they can prevent aging more. So that is so much important. But the key point and the solution for anybody who is in the coma, and all of the nation and all of their families want to keep them these people alive, if these people are important for their families, neighbors, or societies. For example, some politicians like Joe Biden, some genius like Albert Einstein, Roger Penrose, Elon Musk. I want to describe that at the time that these people, never I wish for them, but if for one of us, for every one of us, that would happen someday, we be in the coma. What is the solution for physicians and masters doctors? I want to say that electric shock. These electric shocks must be start by lowest degree and give opportunity to the brain to rebuild the memories. So anybody who is in the coma, we have to make for these people who are in the coma electric shocks, electric shock therapy, and we have to start by lower degree, then give time to these people to rebuild their memories. So their dears must sit beside this patient who are in the coma and describe about their best memories. For example, husband or wife or brother or sister, mother or father must describe for this man who is in the coma, this woman, this boy, this girl, for example, the girl who suicide, their dears must be beside them, and however they are in the coma, describe for this patient and any beautiful moment of their life that they experienced together, co-experienced together. But that is not enough. Day by day, the degree of the electric shocks must be stronger and give enough time to rebuild memories. Besides that, the physicians or nurse or massager or any member of the family must very gently move their body, their hand, their legs, and the massager must do massaging from legs and backs. Just back of the body must do massaging about the back of the patient and mobilize the blood inside their vessels. That will be helpful. Just want to say that many of the people who seems to be died after death, we put them inside the grave or cemeteries. Unfortunately, I want to say that 10% of the people who are in the coma after cemeteries and putting in grave or engraving these dead people, they will be sober and they find themselves inside tomb or inside their graves. That is not horrifying. That is so much horrifying, but they can't believe, and they maybe they die after 10 years loneliness in the graves, uh, 20 years. The interesting thing that some animals who have greater brain, so they have greater consciousness field, like cows, like elephants, they can understand the people as a human being who are in the graves. They are uh, not dead. I had a very special experience it when I was working as a shepherd near to some cemetery places inside Armenia. I remember that one cow went to the grave that was very fresh grave. Seems maybe just few weeks passed from the cemetery ceremonies or putting in the ground or engraving this dead woman. I remember that this cow come over this grave and smashed uh, his leg over the grave and wanted to say me that this dead woman is uh, alive. I was so much stupid those times. After mm, few weeks, I understood uh, what was the message of the cow who wanted to say me about this grave. So I want to say that if you see some people in India, they worship cow, or in the other peoples who live in the another cities, they worship some elephants. They have their own reasonings because they saw some miracles by elephant. For example, there is very interesting story in Jainism about the kindness of the elephants. It doesn't matter. The main discussion is that Hindus they burn their dead people because they don't want to see uh, their dead people who will be awakened or be sober and find themselves inside the graves. So they burn. However, I want to say that the master jokis, very advanced jokis or yogis, they can come over the patient in the hospital. Some of them can return these dead peoples to the life, but not similar to the Jesus. Jesus can turn back the consciousness of the human being after absolute death. The same is doable by Abraham, and later on, I will give uh, my inventions. These inventions is is gonna to make artificial quantum consciousness fields, and these artificial quantum consciousness fields can trace the souls or the consciousness field of the dead people during the history and call back these dead people to the life. That is so much sophisticated, and also uh, we don't have any preconditions uh, that I said about the necessity of publish this knowledge, I have some pre-necessities, and this is about making international absolute peace between all of the nations. In this case, all of the human races, all of the human beings, they have enough knowledge to uh, to understand how much is it the value of the human being and the value of the life, so nobody gonna to kill anybody else. For example, nobody want to kill any Israeli or Palestinian, Ukrainian or Russian. And this stage of the civilization, the minds and countries and nations and leaders, they are ready to receive my knowledge about make permanent life and make eternity for Bill Clinton, Joe Biden, George W. Bush, my Condoleezza Rice, because these noble politicians, they are at the stage that they don't go to make wars. What is the result of the wars? A lot of people, especially a lot of innocent people, women and children, civilian, and soldiers, innocent soldiers, who compulsorily and forcefully brought to the wars, they lose their life. As long as the politicians can't understand the value of the life for human being, and they forget or forgot the message of the Jesus about the kindness, forgiveness, even about the enemies. So I have to wait to the time or to the point of the time that all of the human beings, they are ready for this knowledge that will make eternality. Obviously, make eternality for the politicians who are not kind and who are not noble and want to sacrifice other peoples, other nations, innocent peoples on behalf of their own mischievous satanic wishes. They don't deserve to have eternal life. I don't want to put my finger to Hillary Clinton or Bill Clinton or George Bush. I say something for all of the politicians without criminalization or without condemnation for especially one politicians. I want to say that all of the human beings, even Khamenei, they are potentially good, but they go forcefully to the way that they have to do some criminals. I don't want to justify all of the actions by Khamenei or Republic Islamic of Iran. I say something that is related to total human consciousness, and total human beings must understand that they don't have they would never have right to kill anybody else directly or indirectly by war or by disease or by attacks, military attacks, by making sanctions and make poverty in other nations. That is not justified by me and is not acceptable for Jesus if you are a true Christian. So I have to shift to Persian language and say many important things, especially about people who are in the coma inside and outside of Iran. Maybe this will be helpful about the nations and countries and a lot of people who are dying in the hospital right now. And physicians, they don't have enough knowledge. I respect to all of the physicians, but I want to say that all of the physicians, they don't have even 10% of the knowledge, because they don't have, for example, about less than 5,000 uh, deaf experience by me. So I was so much enthusiastic and wishful to do too much thinking and study physics, psychology, to understand the secret of the life, the secret of the consciousness. Why? The good scientific acceptable definition of the consciousness is so much important, because if we have a true, vivid, and lucid definition, clearing definition of the consciousness, we will have in the way toward making tools about safe consciousness inside even the dead bodies. Save consciousness inside the dead body or old body, or the bodies who are about to death, make it facilitate to access eternal life. For example, we know that, and all of the physician knows that uh, after losing permanently consciousness by anybody, he is dead or she is dead, and doesn't matter if their heart or kidney is healthy, the consciousness is gone. In the parentheses, I want to say that consciousness field is traceable, and we can take this consciousness back to the body. But just like to very old people, they can't control their urination, their farting, so their body is so much wasted, um, so much old, and just similar to the very very old car, a spoiled car. Everything is spoiled, everything is ruined, and they can't save their urination. They fart in the middle of the population, or make wet their chairs, and they are innocent because they are so much old. And I want to say that everybody who is listening to me as an old man or woman, just continue their bodily practice or their mental practice by doing chess, solving the puzzles, sudoku, crosswords puzzles. Just uh, try to keep your memory healthy, because memory is so much important about safe consciousness at the time of the coma, or at the time of the separation of the consciousness permanently from body. If you have good memory, you will survive more, and your brain is so much important about make internal life, because if you lose your memory, you can't uh, mm, take back your consciousness even after permanent separation. After the death, the consciousness field start a travel, and if you know uh, the quantum tunnel that every consciousness will go inside this tunnel, we can follow you and find you in the middle of the way after death toward to the other words, and we can uh, take you back by new devices that I invented, that I will be able and make it able all of the human being to trace all of the consciousness fields, even if they died after 500 years, 1000 years, and we can take back this consciousness field. But we have to make a body for this consciousness field. For example, if the body of the human being is spoiled. For example, the lungs, kidneys. For example, some members of the body is ruined because of the oldness that is replaceable, or by technology and by progress in the science and biology and the special masters about the physiology and physicists, we can replace the spoiled members and make a healthy body and trace the consciousness who is lost and bring back to the body, and this body can live 1000 years. So let me shift to Persian language because that is so much exciting for Iranians. In Iran and outside of Iran, there are a lot of valuable people, noble people that all of the nations they want to keep these genius people like Elon Musk, Bill Gates. They want to make these people permanent life for these people or eternality for these people. Uh, so a lot of genius people who died, we know, and a lot of great artists, Marilyn Monroe, and many other uh, scientists, Albert Einstein, a lot of people who we lost, uh, and we want to take back them to the life. For example, Da Vinci, a lot of people died with a lot of mysteries. They afraid to publish these mysteries, like Nikola Tesla. Nikola Tesla was angry in the society of the United States because of the capitalism. Nikola Tesla could be so much more successful than Thomas Edison, but there was a great difference. Thomas Edison was not so much genius, but he was rich, so he stole many innovations and inventions just for himself. And Nikola Tesla, with great ideas, maybe 10,000 new innovations and inventions, what was deprived to prove and establish and make his innovations or put these innovations into the practice. Just like me, if I be coach for scientists, we will have 10,000 new inventions and innovations in science and technology. That means that the life of the human beings will change forever. For example, making UFO faster than light spacecraft, consciousness detectors and consciousness tracers, about just 5 quantum computers that I invented can change all of the science and technology forever. The definition of the consciousness, philosophy of the consciousness, what is time, and I want to say that all of the nations, all of the countries, all of the physicists, all of the philosophers, they don't know how many time field we have in the universe, and they don't have a correct vision about Big Bang and the beginning of the time. I uh, I have all of this knowledge, all of these innovations, and I am not bluffing. And I have another resources of the knowledge, that is the knowledge that is Allah given to human being by astral projection, and nobody have this tool to gain this knowledge. A lot of shamans in the Siberia, inside the Mexico, there are living between sorcerers. Sorcerers can do astral projections, but I want to say that we don't have a physicist sorcerer in the world. We don't have a UFO engineer between the sorcerers. So sorcerers in the ancient Mexico or inside Siberia, inside Mongolia, even inside Indonesia, and inside Philippines, they can do singing, dancing. They are good poets, even they are great, amazing healers, but they don't. They are not innovators. They are not physicists because they never practiced this. Before being the sorcerer, I was a great thinker about the mathematics and physics. And after being sorcerer, I found that there is a God, and He is the God of the gods, and His name is Allah. That means that the King of the Al Ilah. Ilah, that means God and godness, and Allah is the King of the gods. So that is just for that is just about 15 years that existence of the God is proven to me, because before that I was atheist. It doesn't matter. Let me come back to the main discussion and shift to the Persian language and explain what is the good approach about the people who are in the coma, if we want to save these people who died and died in the appearance, but wrongly we burned them in the cemeteries, and we don't know that they can even live 10 years, 20 years, 30 years with using very very little oxygen, because most of the time they don't consume oxygen in the graves, because they go inside coma. In the coma, the breathing is so much slow, so they consume a little oxygen and die gradually. Even sometimes 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, they are alive and nobody hear their voice. In my experiences, I will describe by Persian language better that some animals they can understand if anybody who is engraved is if they are alive or not. So we thought until now that Hindu people who burn the dead people, they are crazy. If we consider and rethink, we will understand that they are genius and they are smart. They don't want to put alive people inside the graves. So I shift to Persian language and explain very very quickly. الله ربنا و ربکم ولله جنود السماوات و الارض و له مقالید السماوات و الارض. در رابطه با مطلب کما من سعی میکنم که خیلی خیلی سریع مطالب خیلی ضروری و مهمی رو در عرض 4-5 دقیقه خدمت شما عزیزان مطرح بکنم. به زبان انگلیسی سعی کردم مسائلی رو مطرح بکنم که با اون دیتکتورها و شناسنده هایی که بنده اختراع کردم می شود در واقع کانشسنس فیلد افراد رو اندازه گیری کرد، دقیقا مثل اندازه گیری جرم یا اندازه گیری با ترازو که وزن افراد ما می سنجیم. در واقع میزان کانشسنس فیلد این فرد رو از نظر بزرگی اندازه بگیریم و از اون جالبتر اینکه ما تریس بکنیم یا ردیابی بکنیم مسیری رو که این کانشسنس فیلد بعد از کما و بعد از مرگ شروع میکنه به طی کردن. فرق کما و مرگ بسیار بسیار نازک هستش و رقیق هستش. شخصی که در واقع داخل کما هست، بستگی به اون درجه کماش کانشسنس فیلدش رفته بیرون، یا این حالا ما بگیم روح یا حالا هر چی که اسمشو بذاریم، البته کانشسنس فیلد با روح و در واقع بدن سماوی یا بدن ستاره‌ای یا بدن آسترال فرق میکنه. همه اینا در واقع جزئیاتی دارن که در واقع فرق این مفاهیم رو میشه بیان کرد که الان در حوصله این برنامه نمی گنجه. ولی بعد از مرگ انسان در واقع یه آگاهی از بدن جدا میشه. اگر اون مرگ در واقع قطعی باشه، این در واقع بدن آگاه نامرئی که با ابزارهای موجود فیزیکی حال حاضر ما نامرئی هست و بعداً بنده ابزارهایی رو که بشه این در واقع بدن نامرئی رو ردیابی کرد معرفی میکنن به کل بشریت. و این دانش بسیار مهمه، چرا که ما میتونیم تمام افرادی که مردن در واقع اینها رو کانشسنس فیلد هاشون و آگاهی هاشون رو ردیابی کنیم، برگردونیم به جسمی که حتی اگر از کار افتاده، مثلا در اثر مرگ مثلا یکی خونریزی مغزی میکنه، یعنی مغزش از کار افتاده. اگر ما تکنولوژی که به زودی بهش دست پیدا میکنیم که اون قسمت خونریزی شده مغز رو خارج کنیم و جدا کنیم و جراحی موفقی انجام بدیم، بعداً پیوندهای مغزی تا 2-3 سال دیگه با این میکرو ربات هایی که ما داریم اختراع میکنیم یا بشریت داره اختراع میکنه، یا ایلان ماسک یا بیل گیت یا جف بزوس و بقیه چینی ها، حالا روس ها، در واقع قسمت های از بین رفته مغز رو جایگزین کنیم، کلیه هایی که از کار افتاده و باعث مرگ شده اینها رو جایگزین کنیم، پیوند بزنیم، اهدای کلیه بگیریم، پیوند بزنیم. یه بدنی رو که فرسوده شده دقیقا مثل یک خودرو یا پرایدی که در واقع تمام قطعاتش در اثر فرسودگی از بین رفته، خب میشه اون قطعات سالمش رو در آورد و سوار کرد به یک در واقع بدنه دیگه و دوباره این رو راه انداخت. در واقع روح انسان اگر کانشسنس برگرده، بدن رو سریعا با علم و تکنولوژی فعلی میشه ترمیم کرد. مثلا دست و پاها رو میشه رباتیک کرد و بس کرد. شما فیلم روبوکاپ رو ببینید که مغز رو گذاشتن روی در واقع بدن آهنی. فیلم و کارتون معروف روبوکاپ یا پلیس آهنی که در ایران هم پخش شده توی صدا سیما. پس اینا همه علم تخیلیه، ولی بعدا اینا به واقعیت میپیونده و روز به روز در واقع ما امکاناتمون وسیع‌تر میشه. فقط اگر ما بتونیم کانشسنس افرادی رو که به کما رفتن برگردونیم، در واقع این افراد زنده میشن. یا افرادی که مردن، در واقع ما میتونیم با ابزارهای کوانتومی که بنده در واقع اختراع کردم که همه اینا با هم کمک میکنه، یعنی اسکنر کوانتومی، کامراهای کوانتومی، میکروسکوپ های کوانتومی، تلسکوپ های کوانتومی، عرضم به خدمت شما آیتی کوانتومی، کامپیوترهای کوانتومی و در واقع لنز های کوانتومی، همینجوری میاد تا در واقع شناسایی کوانتوم تونل ها و بعدش در واقع تریس کردن و ردیابی کردن هوشیاری های از دست رفته ای که پرواز کرده رفته، حالا اسمش روح بذارید یا هر چیز دیگه که در واقع بعداً عرض خواهم کرد. پس شخصی که در واقع در کما رفته با فردی که مرده، با فردی که در خواب هستش، فرقای اساسی میکنن. اون که مرده یعنی که کانشسنس فیلدش رفته به سفر ابدی و دیگه بر نمیگرده. ولی ما گفتیم که همونجور که در واقع یوسف زلیخا رو 30 سال جوان کرد، یا عیسی در پرنده مرده فوت میکرد و اون پرنده پرواز میکرد، یا ابراهیم یا عیسی اصلا مرده مطلق رو میگفت که برخیز از خواب، به محمد هم نسبت دادن، حضرت محمد صلوات الله و ملائکته علیه. و این چیزها رو در واقع قابل انجامه. حالا هم تکنولوژیش، هم عرفانش، هم متافیزیکش، اینها دانش هایی هستش که الان ما نمیتونیم در اختیار ظالمین جهان، یعنی تمام بلا استثناء سیاستمدارهای فعلی جهان همه ظالمن، به خصوص اونایی که فقط به همقشری ها و اقوام خودشون رو پارتی بازی میکنن. در ایران و در سرتاسر جهان ما در حال حاضر یک دونه سیاستمدار کامل وارسته و پاک نداریم. اونهایی که میخوان کاری رو انجام بدن و مثبت باشن مثل رئیسی در واقع کشته میشن. حالا رئیسی هم نمیگم آدم شایسته بود، اونم با هزاران اعدام و حق کشی و زیرابزنی رسیده بود به مقام ریاست جمهوری که خیلی ازش نصیب او و دنیا آخرتش و خانوادهش نشد. ولی میخوام بگم که در واقع کسایی هم اگر بخوان خوب باشن، سیستم جهان سیستم ظالم و عادلانه ای نیستش و بنابراین اینکه بشریت الان مثلا به یک دانشی دست پیدا کنه که عمر ظالمین رو که اکثرشون هم پولدار هستن، به جز دانشمندا و نوابغ و اونا که اهل علم هستن مثل ایلان ماسک، اینا ظالم نیستن، ولی اکثر سیاستمدارای دنیا ظالمن و ما اینا رو دعوت میکنیم به عدالت و راه عدالت هم نشون دادیم و نشون میدیم. و یکیش این که در واقع مردم آمریکا اگر میخوان به این دانش عمر ابدی دست پیدا کنن، مردم اروپا، مردم روسیه، مردم چین بیان به این حرکت جهانی عدالت گسترانه ای که در واقع سفارش امام زمان هستش بپیوندن. و این امام زمان نیومده بگه که شیعه یا مسلمون ها دین برحق هستن. در واقع این امام زمان آیات قرآن رو، آیات انجیل رو، آیات تورات رو و بقیه کتاب‌های مقدس رو تصویه میکنه و اون چیزی که در واقع به درد امروز میخوره قرن 21 به همه بشریت عرضه میکنه و اون زمان خواهد بود که تمام ادیان با هم متحد میشه. اما از بحث جدا نشیم. یه نفر رفته به کما، این شخص نمرده. هزینه های نگهداری فردی که همینجوری رها میکنن توی کشورهای اروپایی 10 سال، 20 سال، 30 سال، 40 سال در کما هستش، بسیار بسیار زیاده. اما دولت میپردازه در اروپا. حالا آمریکا رو نمیدونم. توی آلمان اگه یه شخصی 20 سال 30 سال هم تو کما باشد، در واقع دولت اون رو نگه میداره و ببینید اوج انسانیت رو اونجا ببینید. شما مثلا در ایران فرقش با کشور اروپایی این هستش که اونجا روابط جنسی آزاد قانونی هستش، حالا انجام میشه یا نمیشه یه بحث دیگه است، و یه مقداری هم در واقع حالت اوریانی و لختی هستش. بقیه چیزها در واقع از اینجاها و از کل خاورمیانه، از کل جوامع مسلمان بالاتر و بهتره. راستگویی، درستکاری، خدمت کردن به بشریت، همه چی اونجا خوبه. فقط همین دو مورده که در واقع اونم همش تو فیلم و سریال و هنره، یعنی در عمل اینطور نیست. حالا ما کاری نداریم، خداوند سترالعیوبه و ما نه مردم خاورمیانه و مسلمون ها رو میخوایم در واقع ستر عیوبشون رو از بین ببریم که اگر این کارو بکنیم در واقع قرآن ما رو لعنت میکنه. الذین، قرآن حالا فارسیش این میشه، کسانی که دوست دارن که صفت فحشا آشکار بشه، یعنی خداوند میپوشونه، اینا میان آشکار میکنن که فلان سلبریتی مثلا فیلم لختیش در اومد. بس این عمل بسیار بسیار در واقع ملعون هستش از نظر قرآن و مورد لعنته. اگر چیزی دیدی باید چشتو ببندی و اون زمان مؤمنین واقعی اصلا چشاشو رو میبندن به اون چیزی که زشته. حالا اینم بحث اصلی ما نیست. کسی رفته داخل کما، ما میخوایم اینو از کما نجات بدیم، چیکار باید بکنیم؟ بایستی شوک الکتریکی داده بشه. خب اینو میگه پزشکی ما هم میگه من اینو میدونم، من شوک دادم، مثلا انقدر ولتاژ دادم، در واقع این طرف بر نگشته. ببینید اینجوری نیسته. شما وقتی شوک الکتریکی میدید، نکته که پزشک نمیدونه این هستش که این مدارهای مغز که قطع شده، به خصوص در مورد افراد پیری که توانایی ذهنیشون و حافظهشون در اثر عدم کتاب خوندن، همین جدول و سودوکویی که اینا حل میکنن، کتاب میخونن، شطرنج بازی میکنن، معمای ذهنی و فکری حل میکنن، این باعث میشه که مغز طرف فعال بمونه. به زبون انگلیسی گفتم که مغز انسان آخرین عضو کل بدن انسانه که قبل از مرگ از کار میفته. یعنی در واقع مغز هستش که همه بدن رو نگه داشته و همه بدن وقتی که سلول ها حتی بمیرن در اثر خون ریزی یا هر چیزی، در واقع مغز آخرین بخشی از وجود فیزیکی انسانه که از کار میفته و وقتی که در واقع مغز از کار میفته، در واقع کانشسنس هم از بدن رفته بیرون، حالا یا موقت که میگن کما یا به صورت دائمی. وقتی این فرد رو سعی میکنن احیا بکنن با شوک، با هر وسیله ای، در واقع این مغز زمان لازم داره که این در واقع مدارهایی رو که گسیخته شده دوباره ترمیم بکنه. بنابراین دکتر بایستی از شوک کم شروع بکنه. امروز شخصی خدای نکرده در هر اثری، به خصوص در اثر کهولت سن و مرگ ناشی از کهولت که